Welcome back to Duvet Diaries. Today I'm with a special guest, Noel, who's a filmmaker, and I can't wait to have the conversation we're going to have today. So say hi to the people.
Yo, what's going on?
Thanks so much for being here. But yeah, I'm just so excited to get into the conversation that we're going to have and like just talk about, I guess, your journey just like as being a filmmaker. By the way, I feel like saying I'm a filmmaker is such a flex. I'm a filmmaker. Like, do you know how many people just like make films or like short films or documentaries or whatever the case may be, and it's like they last the test of time. And the thing about all the amazing films that you've watched like growing up that you always refer to and you always remember and you'll rewatch, and like people create that and you're part of the process, and it's like, oh, people need to like just like flex that. I'm a filmmaker, yeah. Like,
well, I appreciate that. Thank you. It doesn't always feel like a flex.
it doesn't always feel like a flex.
I wish my bank account was flexing like that.
It will, IJN.
Amen. But yeah, I guess. Well, thanks for having me. First of all,
of course.
I guess I'll just start with how it all began and everything. Yeah, I guess so. The journey for me really properly began like 2018. I'd been flirting with the idea of like filmmaking probably since 2016, but in terms of actually like being serious and consistent with the work, 2018. So how that started, I wrote this short called Age Mates, which is about university students at fictional University of South London, because that's where I'm from. South London in the building. South London is in the building. Always. So I wrote that, and then the plan for that was to like make it long form as a TV series. So I was like, if I make like a teaser pilot, and for those who aren't familiar, a pilot in TV is usually the first episode of a series, or sometimes it's a standalone episode which will be made before the first full season, which production companies will make with broadcasters like a BBC or Channel 4 as a way to like test out the show.
So usually the pilot is like, if that's successful, then the show kind of gets picked up.
Yeah, it gets greenlit. So it can be like a demo. So like in America, they have this thing called pilot season where they'll film pilots and then they'll put it on the broadcaster. The broadcaster will like have like a focus group who they'll show it to, like an audience. And then if they feel like it works, then they commission the full season, the greenlight a full season. And then a lot of times that pilot episode, if it's like been made really well, because it's like a demo episode. So if it's been made really well, then they'll just use that as like the first episode in that first season.
Oh, so is that not always the case? I always thought the pilot episode was always like the first episode of...
Yeah, not always. Like, because quite often, especially in the UK, like they will make an episode, and then because it's a demo episode, you're looking at what works, what doesn't. So sometimes cast will change, sometimes directors will change, and then sometimes this writer will like rewrite the episode because, well, okay, this didn't work, and they'll shoot it differently. So what you will see, the public will see, will be different from what was the actual pilot was during the internal process. So so I made like a teaser pilot, which is like 11 minutes, because I was like, if I can take this to broadcasters and as opposed to just giving them a script, give them something to see, they'll be most likely to see it.
Right.
So made that with my friends, and we self-funded it.
That's so sick. Made that with my friends as well. Like that's another flex, because it's like when you're doing it with your people, it's a whole different environment. Yeah. And it's like doing it with your community and doing it with the people that you actually rock with. It's a whole different ball game than doing it with people that you've just like hired from here, there, and everywhere.
100%. Yeah. So I made that with my friends. There were a few people who like I didn't know, but the core group was like people who I knew, and so we made that, and then I went around pitching it as like a calling card. And because I'm not from a community, as you know, us Black Brits, especially with African heritage, like filmmaking for us growing up, it wasn't a viable option as a career path and stuff. So for me, I was like, okay, I don't know anyone in this industry. Right. And as we know in these creative industries, like it's hard to break in and
to get your foot in the door, and
difficult. They will like put walls up, and nobody's really trying to give you a chance, so you have to like force your way in. Right. So I was like, okay, where can I meet these people in the industry? So I thought, okay, cool. There's few places publicly made known where filmmakers will go. So BAFTA is one of them.
Yeah.
So quite often people think of BAFTA, they just think of like the awards and stuff. But BAFTA is an actual like organization. It's a charity with headquarters in Piccadilly.
Yeah.
So I happened to, through this like networking group I was on called Liberty, they sent us tickets for like a screening at BAFTA. And then I went. And then when I was at BAFTA, I started going on the website and I realized, oh, these screenings are actually available to the public. And at the time, I don't know how much they are now, they'll be like £5 and stuff.
As in for the public to come and watch?
Yeah, to come and watch. So it'll be like screenings for like a new show, a new film, and quite often in the audience, there'll be like the producers of that show or film or people behind the scenes. So I was like, okay, this is a good way for me to meet people.
Yeah, to network, yeah.
So I started going to a couple of
those.
That's
a smart way to go about it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I started going to a couple of those, and then funnily enough, what happened was when we made Age Mates, I wrote it, I didn't direct it. It was directed by this talented director from Scotland called Caitlin. Big up Caitlin. And Caitlin went to a festival, and at the festival she met this guy called Daniel Lawrence Taylor, who's an actor, writer, performer. He made this show on ITV2 a few years back called Time Wasters, which is like about a black jazz band that travels through time. So she met him, and then he was like just giving her tips. Like she said, oh, we just made this thing. And like he gave us tips and said, oh yeah, call it a teaser and stuff. So that's why I call it a teaser. I call it a teaser when you're pitching it and whatnot. And at the time I was working at the O2 Arena, and that's my friends who I worked with in Age Mates, and one of them who was like the lead in it. That's how I met him. We all worked together at the O2s. Right. Like we're just a bunch of random people at O2. Like, oh, we're creative. Let's get into film and TV. Let's make something.
And that's actually how it works. Like, you're having a conversation, which just shows like it can happen anywhere in any environment. Like you just never know. Which is why be nice to people, 100%. Be personable, and talk to people.
100%. Like be transparent.
Right.
Be transparent with people, and be respectful to people, and use the resources around you. That's what I always tell people, like what's around you, you know?
Yeah.
So I was working at the O2 and then Daniel came through and I was doing security, and when he came through I recognized him and I approached him and I told him who I was, and he was like, oh yeah, I met your director, she was lovely, So he was like, how's that going? I was like, yeah, we're just like, it's in post-production, just doing the editing.
Right.
And then he was like, great. And then he went to do what he was going to do. And then I thought about it when he went inside. I was like, damn it, I should like ask for his email. Like I just shot my shot, you know what I mean? Because I feel like, especially here, we're told hush hush, you know.
Yeah, especially, I feel like, I don't know if it's a British thing, but people don't, I feel like in America, people are so forward.
100%.
They've got their business cards on decks. They're like, yeah, this is what I do. Let my people contact your people. Let's just make it work. Here, I don't know if they've like taught us to be a bit more reserved or like, it's a negative thing, like going out and putting yourself out there, but it's something that like you have to almost retrain yourself to do.
100%. So I was just like, I did the British thing of, keep hush, hush, hush. And then when he went, I was like, no, like let me shoot my shot. So I remember I was waiting there for a bit, and then I needed the bathroom, and I was like to my colleagues, like, okay, I'm gonna go use the toilet, and let me know if you see that guy. So then I went. Came out and I was like, have you seen him? And he's like, yeah man, he just left. I was like, I was like,
he just went out the door, so
you know, so it's like when a guy's at a party in the club and there's a buff girl and you're looking at her like, I'm gonna shot.
And then she's gone home.
And she's gone. And you're being shy and you're like,
or you've seen her leave with another guy, you're like, it's my chance.
Like, damn it, you know.
That's hilarious.
So that's exactly what it was. So the next day I was going to BAFTA again for a screening. This comedy by this actor called Samson Ko. And as I was on my way to BAFTA, I thought, I wonder if Daniel's going to be there, because Samson was in Daniel's show Time Wasters. Right. And the industry is very small.
Small, yeah.
So I went, when I walk in, who's in the audience? Daniel. So I'm sat behind, like a few rows behind him, like,
this is my second opportunity.
Proper, like,
I need to,
I need to get it this time. You know, it's like in the movies when the guy doesn't shoot a shot of the girl, then he happens to see her by chance in a coffee shop.
And it's just like, this is my second chance, let me, you know.
And I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm an idiot, you know. So I was like, okay, this is clearly God. So I'm sat a few rows behind him. I'm there watching the whole time the show's on. I'm there watching him.
So you're not watching the show, you're like, if he breathes.
like some stalker. So Daniel, if you see this, I love you, man. Screening ends, Daniel gets up. I shoot up.
He said, I'm not wasting time.
No wasting time. I was like, oh, excuse me. Completely threw away the whole British timidity. I was like, no, excuse me. Then I went up to him and I was like, hey. Then he's like, oh, hey, yeah, I met you the other day. Then he was like, before I could even say anything, he said, oh, we should meet up for a coffee.
Oh.
Here's my email.
That's the best, yeah.
I was like, no way. I'm cheesing, so I'm leaving. I'm smiling. I'm like, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Walking to the train station. I kid you not. As I'm walking to the train station, who walks past me on the phone? Daniel.
No way.
Then it turns out we were catching the same train home together because he just lived a few stops.
When it's meant to be, it's actually meant to be.
Listen.
Like, fate will have its way, and it's like, yeah, you know, it doesn't matter, like, if you went to the toilet and you didn't see him the first time, because you weren't meant to link with him then.
Exactly.
But the second time, he got your email, it was fresh in his mind.
Exactly.
Now you're going to sit on the tube side by side.
Exactly. You know, I wasn't a random person.
Right.
Like, he knew my face, all of that. So, yeah, from there, Daniel, like, he took me on as, like, a unofficial, like, mentee.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he would just give me advice. And I sent him age mates, and he responded back, I feel like a week later. It's like, yo, this is really funny. He was like, let's meet for a coffee. So, yeah, we'll just meet for coffees. He'd, like, really, like, teach me game about the industry. Because one thing about the industry, like, people keep their mouths closed about money
like
and deals and things that you
yeah.
should know. And he really told me about, you know, about IP and ownership and what this means. Like, really broke down the language.
I think she just wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
you wouldn't know unless you're in it.
Unless you're in it, yeah.
And quite often, especially with our people, we learn things too late. So he really was transparent with me. So
yeah,
I appreciated that.
Oh, shout out Daniel.
Yeah, big up Daniel, man. Big up Daniel. He's got a new show called Borders on BBC, so watch out for that, people.
Amazing.
But yeah, so through Daniel, I met a couple other people, and that eventually led to me meeting another mentor of mine called John Petrie, who now runs comedy at BBC. And John, so how me and John connected, I was introduced to him by an agent called Katie at CAA, which is like one of the big agencies, CAA. And she introduced me to him, and funnily enough, he was a judge on a panel for this awards competition thing, which I got nominated for and stuff. So when I sent him my work, and then when I found out I got nominated, he's like, oh, I'm actually one of the judges in that panel, and he likes my writing. So we stayed in touch, and we're like, oh, we'll meet at the award ceremony. So the award ceremony happened. This was February 2020. The award ceremony came. He wasn't there that night. Then I remember I chased up with him, and he's like, sorry, I got like busy with work and stuff, but let's like meet for a coffee. And then, as I mentioned, it's 2020. What happened in 2020? COVID. So, COVID.
It's so funny because I'm always just like saying COVID has just become such a benchmark now that people just saying this happened and after this or before this, like we use it as its own time.
Pre-COVID, post-COVID.
Right, it's crazy, but it's a real thing that happened. So.
It's a real thing, you know. So COVID happens, and when COVID happened, I was like, cool. Like a lot of people were like, oh, you know, use this as an opportunity to like really follow your dreams, be great.
Everyone's regurgitating that line that whole year.
Listen, it was so like cheesy, but I was like, let me do it.
Why not?
So I got furloughed because there was no events, you know, and I was at O2 at the time, so I got furloughed. I'm getting money, and I was like,
got nothing but time.
I got time, and I just used it as a way. In my mindset was like, I'm getting paid to like do stuff in my free time. So I wrote another pilot script, and I sent that to John, and then he got back to me a couple of weeks later, and he was like, oh, sorry for the delay, just stuff with work, and he was like, I'll give this a read. He read it a few days later, got back to me. Said he really enjoyed it. He said it wasn't what Channel 4 was looking for at the time, but he said, I like your writing. That's 2 scripts now you sent me where I like your style. We should have like a Zoom and stuff.
Wow.
So we had a Zoom. But unfortunately for me, it turned out at the time I was living at my mum's, and then I told him where I lived, and it turns out he lives in the same area as me.
Mad, yeah.
So I was like, oh, mad, cool. So around that time was that weird time in COVID. Do you remember when it was like the eat out to help out era?
Oh, that summer was just the most unserious, but I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah, it was like, this is a weird time. Things were like
50% off.
kind of open. You can
get
do
a drink,
this,
but you have to
that.
get chips or
it was like a weird thing.
Weird time.
So me and John, we met up, and then he like spoke to me. We were talking, and he was giving me advice, and like, you know, it's like, I've got an agent, and how to get an agent. And he like made a couple of introductions, whatever. Then he also asked me if I'd like a job in the industry, like a day-to-day job, whilst I'm superseding my writing.
No way. You know what? Every time, like, it's so interesting because people talk about networking and making connections, but you just don't think, like, the offer's just going to come like that over coffee. Like, do you want a job? I'll be like, how do I say yes 1,000 times?
Listen,
yes, hire me now. What do I sign?
I was like, what? So when he asked me, because at the time he was working at this company called Broken Bones, which is run by Charlie Brooker, the guy who created Black Mirror.
No way.
So John was head of comedy there, and he was like, oh yeah, Charlie would like need an assistant and stuff, and I was looking for one. Like, would you be interested in having a job? I know you want to write, but da-da-da. And I was like, of course.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah. So he sent my CV. He's like, I can't promise anything, but I was try. So he sent my CV in. In the end, I didn't get that job, but John, such a G, he was like, listen, I feel so bad. I've been making these intros, nothing's happened. I'm like, no, like, you've done more than enough.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, let me think of a couple more people. So I sent my CV around to this company called Rough Cut. Rough Cut is where John used to work, and John used to be an assistant there, and then went on to become a producer before moving on elsewhere. And Rough Cut is run by this guy called Ash Atala, who's best known for producing the original Office with Ricky Gervais. So Ash is like a pretty big name in the comedy scene, like comedy legend, all of that.
Plucking these things from. That's amazing.
Comedy's just like, yo,
here you go, throw it at you.
So John sent my CV over to Rough Cut, and originally I was going to be a runner. So for those who aren't familiar, a runner is basically like the entry-level position on film production. On the set of a film or TV production, you're basically the person that does the errands. They go to like, because film, TV,
so quick,
fast-paced, so people are busy. They need someone who's just hands on deck to do little things, whatever, and stuff. And it might not seem like you're doing nothing, but if you're observant and you're nice and you talk to people and you work hard and you ask the right questions,
that goes such a long way.
It'll go somewhere, you know. So I was like, yeah, I'm happy to do it. So they offered me a position to be a runner on one of their shows. But then it turns out that at the time they had just moved offices to central London from Camden, and Ash was now like, oh, now that I'm in central again, I'm not going to be taking cabs to meetings. I'm going to need an assistant with me, because Ash, he's got polio in his legs, so he's paralyzed in his legs since he was like 2 years old, so he's in a wheelchair, so he has someone like push him around. So it's like, I'm not going to be taking taxis and stuff, so I need someone to walk around with me a lot more. So one of the producers at the company was like, oh, there's this guy who we interviewed for a role as a runner on one of our productions, but would you be up to meeting him to be an assistant? So he was like, cool, send me the CV. And the person called me and asked me, so I'll pass your CV on to Ash, is that fine? And I was like, of course. You know, because a runner on a production, that's like a temporary position, that's a freelance, because once the production's done, then you look for your next job. Whereas this is an in-house role. So I was like, so I met with Ash, we clicked, and then he was like, cool, just like end of March 2021, he was like, I'll need you around summertime, I'll be in touch. Summer came round, and then he hit me up, it's like, I'm ready for you. And and I learned so much about the business, because the unique position I was in was because of Ash's situation. It's not every TV producer that's in that situation. Whether Ash would go, because he's an exec, he runs a company, they go to high level meetings, I would take him. And sometimes I'll get to sit in the room. Not often, but there were times where he would need me to be in the room and stuff. And I'll just like sit and act as if I'm on my phone or got my laptop out, but I'm actually listening to what's being said and learning and
taking it in.
You know, from the whole process, top to bottom, he said you're going to learn about how it's done. So from development, which is the stage where someone will send a script in. Say you send a script to my company, someone will read it and then say we like it. We then option the idea. So an option is basically where we pay for the temporary rights to sell the project for like a year to pitch it to a broadcaster. So production companies, they physically make the shows. It's a bit different in America because they got studios, but in the UK, production companies, they physically make the shows, and then they are the ones the broadcasters are the ones who will air the show. So when you option the scripts, you buy the temporary rights for like a year. I think it's 18 months, to like have the script and like pitch it to different broadcasters. And then once a broadcaster shows interest, that broadcaster would then pay for the rest of the episodes to be written, because it's only the first episode that you write.
Yeah.
And then film it, and then it gets put on their platform.
Sick. So that's how it works. You know what I mean? Like, you're actually like giving us game, like people like taking us through. Like, some of you are probably watching, like, I already knew that, and I'm like, well, I didn't. So I'm learning for all of us. So that's so interesting.
No, listen, TV it's a whole maze. I learn about development, and I learn about production, where you're actually like filming, pre-production, where you're getting ready to film. You've got your directors, you've got your costume people, all of that, and you're making your strategy, and then filming, and then post-production, which is where you sit in the edit when the footage is being cut together.
Right.
And then that was really helpful, because you've got the writer there giving their notes on the show, you've got the director, the person who comes and actually directs the episodes, giving their notes, you've got Ash, the exec, giving his notes, you've got like the hands-on producer who produced the show giving their notes, and then some meetings you have the commissioner, so the person from the broadcaster, so say from like Netflix will come and then give their notes, which is usually quite later in the edit process. So you're hearing...
So you're here like witnessing all of this?
All of this.
That's
from like different like perspectives. There'll be times where it'll be quite full and Ash will be like, it's fine, go back to the office. But then a lot of times I'll be like, oh, can I stay in? And it's like, yeah, if you want, like, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I'll learn. And for me, it was so helpful because I hadn't given up on my writing. I'd just taken a break. But I was like, through learning this, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what these production companies want. This is what they mean when they say this. Yeah. You know, when they email me saying this is what they really mean, the notes they give, like, it just made a lot more sense.
Right.
So I took that knowledge and then decided to start writing again. And then I decided to write this short film, like a horror short film, like quite ambitious and stuff. And I wanted to direct that. I haven't directed it yet, but I'm going to. But because I hadn't directed before, I've just written before. How the industry works, if you haven't done something before, nobody wants to take a chance on you. Right.
I was going to say, like, how was it like then going from writing and then wanting to kind of take that leap into sort of directing?
It was a hard step for me because it was our thing. You haven't done it before. And then I felt because I'd been working in-house in the industry by that point and had contacts, I was like, oh, you know, like, and because I've written a bulletproof script, like, through working in development, the scripts that, because this is the first script I've written since before working in TV, there was a big difference between that script and, like, say, when I wrote Age Mates and something, like, in terms of, like, the technical ability and the craft and everything. And so I've got this brilliant script, you know, I work in the industry, I've got contacts, like, I can go to the British Film Industry in this institute and get funding easily. Yeah. No.
You're like, yeah, I can do that.
It's like, no. They're like, because you haven't directed before.
So difficult,
And in the UK, in terms of funding bodies, it's only really the BFI and maybe one or two others. Like, it's really limited here and stuff. And because of that, they hold such a monopoly and stuff. And they're the ones who again say, oh, this can be made, and stuff. So that was like really difficult for me. So it was very frustrating. So my producer Melissa, my good friend and producer Melissa, big up Melissa, me and her were talking, we're pitching around, getting rejected, and she was like to me, listen, like, direct something smaller. So when we go for these meetings and they say this, you have something to be like, well, I can direct.
Yeah, I've done it here. Yeah.
And for me at first I wasn't on it because for me it was just still there. It's like, I have to direct a short film to then go and get funded to direct another short film. Yeah. As opposed to people usually direct short films so they can go and make a feature film. Right. You know?
But that's the thing, it's a whole process as well. And it's like the idea of like, it's great that, yeah, I believe I can do it. But like, if people don't see it, they're not going to like want to take a chance on you. Because it's like the specific instances and the kind of like, you know, scenarios where you hear like, oh yeah, I managed to just walk into this person and they were able to give me, and then next thing I know I had a feature film. Like, those experiences are very few and slim. Like, so ideally just having this portfolio, and it's also again using what's around you. You mentioned before resources, so using that. So it's like you're capable of making it and you're capable of directing it. Let me do this to show them that I can do it. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a good shout from Melissa as well, like saying that to you, like, go ahead and just direct it, just so they can see it. So, and it's, again, it doesn't have to be on this huge scale and it has to be this, that and the other, like, just have something there to show. And then you can talk it up. You can talk a big game when it's there, do you know what I mean? But have something there, so then they can, you know, do what they will with that.
Exactly, yeah. So for me, it was that thing where I was also like, okay, direct something smaller scale, but what? Because like Melissa and a couple of people, oh, you know, direct, like, it can just be simple, like a duologue, like, which you can just get like a script from like a movie, an existing film, and then have two actors like read two parts, like from a scene, and just put your twist in it and whatever. But for
you
me,
can do that?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
Really?
Yeah, people do it all the time. Yeah, people do it all the
nice.
time.
Yeah.
And you don't need to, it can be just in this room, and it's just the performance you're focusing on and the actor. Because essentially, what you can do, you can like find a film that's already been made, and like the scripts are publicly available online. You can like download them. And like you can say, you can take a scene from it and you can make something off it. Obviously, you can't profit off of it because it's not your work.
Okay,
and
so
stuff.
That's
and obviously, you say based on The Matrix by, you know,
I see, like credit
such and such.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, no, I want to like tell my own stuff. Like, I don't know, call it ego or whatever. But that wasn't really interesting to me. But I had to think of an idea as well. I don't want to just think of any idea. Like, it has to be an idea I'm actually interested in.
Yeah.
So I think one day, I was at this networking thing I'm a part of, and it was a summer day, and then I think randomly it just came to me. I was like, oh, okay, if I'm going to shoot something small, so one location, something that I can fund and me and my producer can put money into ourselves, one location and conversation based, but it has to be an interesting conversation. So I thought, okay, one location, a car, okay, but it has to be a car that's not moving, because if you're filming something, say you film a short film, the car's not moving, that's going to be cheaper than the short film where a car is moving. Even if there's not a lot happening, the car's just moving because...
It's a whole production. I've seen behind the scenes of that. Yeah, long.
You know, the camera set up, all of that. That's money. So I was like, okay, a car, stationary, is parked somewhere, a conversation. What's an interesting conversation? Then an idea came to me, which is based on this argument that always comes up. You know how, like, we were saying earlier, like, a lot of podcasts, the topics are who pays in the first date, right?
Is the mum sitting at the front or the back?
That's my short film.
Right.
That's my short film.
That's smart though, using like pop culture and what people,
Yeah, because like people chat about this and people get so passionate. No, how dare you? What? How can your wife sit in the back? Oh, how can your mum sit in the back? Do you not respect your mum?
People be beefing on the mic about whether the mum... And this is it's a scenario that hasn't even happened in their lives.
Yeah. You
don't even have a girlfriend yet.
Exactly, you're not married yet.
So what are you talking about? Like...
But it's such a relatable scenario and stuff. So...
that's really smart.
So that came to mind and I was like, okay, that's what it's about. And then I told one of my friends who I'd been wanting to work with for a while. She's an actress and writer, Nikki Fagbemi. She wrote this and starred in this short film called Why Me, which aired on Sky in 2022 and stuff. And she's been in Banana, which is on Channel 4 and stuff. So, and she's really funny.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And I was just like, oh, this girl, like, she understands comedy. And I just knew, like, as we became friends, I was like, at one point I want to work with her. So I was like to her, I want you to be in this. And when I just told her the concept and I told her the ending, I won't say what the ending is, but it's like a little twist of the ending. She just started laughing. She's like, bro, like, she's like, I'm down. So I remember I told Melissa about it. And then I told Melissa, I was like, okay, but you're going to write this, or you're going to write the first draft. So with scripts, like, it's multiple drafts which are written. So I was like, you're going to write the first draft because I wanted to just focus on directing because I'd been writing by that point for some years. And I was like, I know I can write. I've proved it. You know, I've been nominated for awards. I'm not up there yet, but I've been nominated for awards. You know, I've got quite a few scripts under my belt. And Melissa had been saying, the same way I was like, oh, I want to direct. She'd been saying since I known her, I want to write. So I was like, okay, you write the first draft of this. I've already got the idea. I gave her the story. So you write the first draft, first 1 or 2 drafts, and then I'll come on and then like punch up the scripts. So she wrote the first 2 drafts. I gave her notes, and then I started writing. I think I wrote maybe 4 more drafts, whatever, just really punching up the comedy and stuff, especially because I come from the world of working in comedy and whatnot. So just punched up. And
can we just like hone in on that, like from like the world of comedy and like writing like a funny script, because it's actually not easy to make people laugh
at all.
Like, it's easier to, I guess, make like scare people, like a horror or
Yeah.
like a thriller or like a, well, not necessarily thriller because they're more kind of psychological.
Twisty,
or
yeah, yeah.
But like a horror, or to make people like sad, or but to make people actually laugh.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a skill. It's like
Yeah,
hard to do. And like, what about if the joke doesn't bang? And it's just like, was that meant to be funny?
Boy,
Like, it's a difficult thing to try and.
You know what I've learned with comedy? Comedy as well, the reason why it's tricky, because it's usually quite culturally specific.
Yeah.
So like,
what could be funny to like us might not be funny to, I don't know, like an older generation.
Exactly.
That's
or,
like far removed from
you
our
know,
society.
someone from China or Sweden or somewhere, you know, because
Yeah.
comedy is culturally specific. But
Right.
within that specific I'm getting tongue tied, but you know what I want to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But within the specific,
Yeah.
there's universal themes. And
Right.
with this short film, I just leaned on the universal and stuff. So like the themes of the short film are you know, about motherhood and the fear of losing your position when there's a new addition to the family and stuff, which I feel it's something
That's a universal.
yeah, anyone can relate to.
Right.
So I just leaned into those themes
That makes sense.
and stuff. And even though in the scripts, in the film, the lead character, the mum, she's Nigerian, and obviously, you know, you being Nigerian,
cultural,
you
yeah.
know, there's the thing she says, the little nuances and whatever, how she says things, which is specific, but the situation is relatable. And anyone, whether you're from, you know, you're Peter from Lancashire, or
Right.
you know, you're Tiana from the Bronx, you know,
Yeah,
anyone
you
can
still
relate to that.
Right.
You know, you're Temi from Lagos, anyone can relate to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I just leaned into that. And then also with comedy writing as well, what I learned through like working at Rough Cut, and then also I left Rough Cut last year, and then I worked for 6 months at Netflix in their adult animation comedy team.
Amazing, yeah.
And that was also that team, the stuff we're making there was very comedy focused. So what I learned through those experiences is number one, focus on the story. Like you have to focus on the script and the story, because if you just focus on the jokes, there's some comedians who are like pure comedians, they can do that. But if you just focus on the jokes and you're not a pure comedian, it's not going to work. So focus on the story. And for me, I focus on the character as well.
Right.
The character. So I focus on the character. The story comes from the characters.
Right.
And then putting those characters in the situations, how they're going to react.
Right.
So character A is not going to react the same as character B, but you put them in that situation, there's going to be conflict. And that's where the humor comes from.
I see. That's a really, interesting. Because I'd always think like, how would I put like funny elements into it without, but you still want it to be a storyline, a plot, a thing, you know, so it's still interesting to watch.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, I'm just getting jokes every few seconds that aren't hitting, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so the jokes will come from that.
Right.
And then also because Nikki as well, because I knew she understood comedy and she was funny, I knew by casting her, she would bring stuff or she would ad-lib things which weren't in the original script. I'm like, no, that's funny. Let's keep that in.
Yeah, we love a bit of
Stuff.
improv.
Yeah, you know, I'm very much like collaborative because it's a collaborative medium. So if you're too honed in, some directors, some writers, they are very much
stick to the script.
Stick to the script. Every single bar, you know.
Yeah, like, stick to this.
And don't get me wrong, the script is there for a reason. Like I'm not gonna have it where I write a script and you're just changing every line. It's like, what did I write this for?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but there are times where I'll have a line and the actress or actor will add an additional joke to that line or expand the joke or whatever. And it's like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Or they might say the line this way where they're essentially saying the same thing, but
a different way.
you're saying it a
brings a different,
Exactly. Like, for example, the lead actress, Tommy, who plays the mum, big up Tommy, she's really funny. She, there's a line where she says, in the script it says, because of common ring. And she ended up saying it, because of ordinary ring, you know. But that's just what was naturally coming to her as we were shooting. And I was like, she's saying the same thing. I'm fine with that, you know. So me and Melissa, we wrote the scripts and then we started casting. Once again, this is independent. So after that, I made a treatment, which is like a document where you put the visual references, like just explaining the idea visually. So how you want the characters to look like, the costumes, the color, the tones, all of that, you know, influences, references, boom. So I created that document. And then me and Melissa, we put out a casting call. And we already had Nikki attached to play Mercedes. So it's called Driving Mercedes. That's the name of the short film.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart,
so she was...
is she the mum or is she the...
No, she's the daughter-in-law. So we had Nikki attached to play Mercedes. And funnily enough, Nikki's car, we used her car. Her car is a Mercedes.
Perfect.
That wasn't even planned, so perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's called Driving Mercedes. And actually, shout out to Nikki. I can't take credit for that. I had a different name, and then she was like, "What about Driving Mercedes?" She came up with that. So big up Nikki.
That's really cool. Yeah, smart.
So we had her attached. Then I reached out to Ade Damola, who plays Maxwell, who's the husband in the film. So he's like caught in between the two women, trying to like keep the peace and all of that. And then we put our casting call for Tommy to play Elizabeth. Well, we put out a casting call, and then Tommy responded to that casting call, and then it was between her and another actress, and it was like really tight. And I was like, something just told me, go with Tommy. And she was the right choice. She delivered. So yeah, so we did that. And then also on the directing side, like I created a shot list, which is basically each film you watch, all the shots that are used, they're placed there for a reason. If it's by a good filmmaker, it's placed there for a reason and stuff. So a shot list is a document where you put, okay, this shot, what type of shot it is, and then sometimes you explain in the document why you want that shot, the intention, whatever. Some shots are just very much basic purpose, like you just need that. Some are like, oh, because I want to communicate this and stuff. And that was my first time doing it, so it was a learning experience for me.
Right.
And then Melissa, she was producing, so she handled like the coordinating, like the, you know, like the contracts and, you know, getting crew and all of like the logistical bits and whatnot.
So it really is a collaborative effort.
Very much so. Very much so. And then because it's independent, we're like, okay, we're shooting in a street. You need like a permit if you're going to just shoot in like a public street. So we shot it on my mom's road because my mom lives in like this gated estate place. So it's private, and we knew we wouldn't get interrupted too much, and nobody's gonna come. Why are you filming here?
There's so much to think about and so many different elements to consider. But yeah, it's like all the experiences that I've had that you've had before, and all the rooms that you were in before.
Yeah,
I guess have allowed you to like be aware of things that you probably wouldn't even
considered. Yeah.
Which is why it's also like, don't despise humble beginnings
at all, because
you know, from being a runner and being like having all those opportunities to be in those rooms,
exactly,
that taught you so much and give you another perspective, as opposed to if you were just to get the opportunity in the first place, you know, it allows you to be prepared and to get ready for it. So
no, 100%. And like even with you know, some of the crew members, like my director of photography, they lead the camera team, and they're the ones who like create the look of your film. So the director will tell them how they want it to look, and they're responsible for like technically putting that together, and they might contribute their own ideas, like, oh, have you thought about this? So you work with them to like get the look of the film that you envision. And my director of photography, Aman, big up Aman, I met her through BAFTA, because we're both BAFTA members, and I originally wanted her to work on the horror short film I wanted to do, and she read the script for that, she loved it, and then when I told her, you know, I'm going to make something smaller first, she was just like to me, listen, I'll work with you on something smaller scale, no problem. And she came with her team, who were just A1, and we shot that last Saturday. Used my mom's road, shot a scene. There's a brief scene in the kitchen, my mom's kitchen. And
I think I saw that on stories, and I was like,
I did post it. I did post it on my Instagram stories. And yeah, we shot it last weekend. It's gonna be about probably 5 to 6 minutes. We're currently in post-production now, so the editing process.
So this is the, I guess, smaller scale one that you want to use, so you can have. Amazing.
Exactly.
And even then, it's like still so much effort goes into it, and just so much time, and like so many different elements to consider. That's the only way I can describe it. There's just so many moving parts.
No, 100%.
Pun intended, because it's driving me. See what I did there. But no, there are so many moving parts. Like, this is why I'm not the comedian writing the comedy joke. It's like I'd actually be waffling in the script. But no, it's amazing, and it's like I look forward to see everything you do with that, and I just know that once you put that in the right hands, that it's just gonna.
No, thank you. Yeah, with that, because even though, like you said, don't despise small beginnings, because even though that's what I'm out, that's the small thing I want to do for this big thing. Everyone who came on board, they came on board it because they saw the vision, and they were like, I love the story. Like, they really were like, this is something. And I was like, oh, this is resonating with people more than I thought it would. And they said, look, it's because it's everyday which we can all relate to. We understand that feeling. Even if we haven't been directly in it, we've witnessed it, or we know someone, like, it's familiar. So people will engage with the characters and all of that. And it's very funny. And, you know, the actors, I was going through like the raw footage over the weekend. The actors did their thing, man. They were so funny. They were all so funny, and yeah, so the plan for that is to put it out next month. And yeah, God willing,
coming soon. So we'll definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And make sure that we're on the lookout. But I'm excited to see that all come about.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's amazing. And it's amazing also to just see that you, again, stepping into that, director bag. And I think it's important as well, like, if you feel like there's not an opportunity there available, make that opportunity. And that's exactly what you're kind of doing. Just like, right, okay, cool. They say they haven't seen me direct before, whatever the case may be. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you guys, like, why you want me to be, directing your films and being in, your film, or doing it for you guys as well. So I think it starts with, creating the opportunities for yourself, and then in turn you'll create opportunities for other people and like other people that that will be great, and casting them, and it's just almost collaborative effort. And that's a big word that I could just keep repeating, because it is a community thing, and it is a thing that you do together. And it's like, if you want to get, like they always say that if you want to get somewhere, if you just want to get someone, do it alone. But it's like, if you want to get there quickly, do it together.
100%.
So it's like 100%, like just doing it as a community, doing it as a team, and like, and also just believing in yourself, because you could just stick to like, okay, cool, well, I'm confident with writing, and that's the lane I'm going to stay in. But it's like, why not venture off into other things that you're capable of doing? So
no, 100%.
It's amazing. And I kind of want to touch earlier on into our conversation where you mentioned about, I guess, coming from the background that we've come from, and just growing up in London, and also just like being black and just not really seeing as, these careers as things that were feasible for us to actually do. And how's that been, I guess, going from, being a younger guy and like thinking about, oh, what I want to do with my career, and then actually going into thinking, you know what, like I actually want to take my creativity and actually go for the career that I feel like I'm capable of doing and I truly dream of doing.
Yeah. I think for me, what helped me be bold enough to go in the direction, no pun intended, that I'm going in is, I think, like with my parents, like my dad's and stuff, so my dad's from Angola and my mom's from Zimbabwe, and they met here, and growing up we lived in different countries through my dad's work and stuff. So like we lived in the States for a bit, and we lived in Cape Town, South Africa, and stuff. So I got like exposed to like different people and cultures and stuff like that. And I feel like how that helped me with my journey, because I was exposed to all of these different cultures and whatnot. I didn't have the typical experience I would have had if I just grew up in London the whole time.
And how long were you living in these different places?
America, the first time around when I was a kid, it was around 3 years. We moved the week that 9/11 happened. So it was just before 9/11. Yeah.
That's wild.
It was crazy. Just before 9/11. Wow. So like, security going for the airport's calm. Then a week later, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah, of course.
That was an error in itself. And then I studied there. I went to uni there. I went to uni twice. The first time I went to uni was in America. I went to the University of Cincinnati.
Amazing.
And that was a whole different experience. I've always said I'm going to make a show about that experience.
You should. That'll be interesting. I'd love to see that. I'm obsessed with like America. Don't ask me why, but
no, I mean,
I'll be so
we grew up on American pop culture.
Well, that is why, basically.
The interest comes from there. But right. It was an experience. And then Cape Town, what happened was, so I did my GCSEs here. I went to this really ghetto school, and I found myself like at odds with like people you don't want to be at odds with. Not my fault, but just how growing up in ends, how it happens. And my mum was like, no, you're going to go to school. I'm going to pull you out of here and go to school in Cape Town. Because at the time, my mum and dad and my little brothers were living in Angola. And then my mum, and in Angola, they speak Portuguese. And me and my sister, unfortunately, we're not there with that Portuguese. So my mum, her sister, my late auntie, her family was in Cape Town. Because SA is right next door to Zim. So we went to school there, and I went to an American international school. And my sister went to an all-girls South African boarding school. Right. Yeah, so it was quite an experience.
So interesting. Was it like Blood and Water? Because have you seen that show?
Yeah. Blood and Water is my shit, man.
I love that show.
Yeah, I love SA content on Netflix. But yeah, my sister what's her school like? But well, actually, I feel my school was very much so like that because her school was an all-girls school.
Right.
My
Yours was
school
mixed, yeah.
with these rich kids, you know, it's an
Yeah,
international school.
that's literally what
like the house parties. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like
what
that.
an experience.
Yeah, it was
going from being in London, it ends. She's here to being like, right, I'm in Cape Town.
Listen, it was mad. So,
but I can imagine how all those experiences will teach you like so much and also shape your perspective.
100%, because you know in London we're so insular over here. You know, like 100%. I always joke when I go like Shoreditch House and people act stush. I'm thinking you're either in here because you're a member. Everyone that's in here, you're either in here because you're a member or you're a guest of a member. So no one's more special than the other.
Yeah, exactly.
But in London, I feel like, and especially with black people, I feel like it's because we've grown up with so many things against us. So naturally, we're so like, and stuff like that, especially in this country.
Yeah, struggling to just like be free and not be so phased by, it's just,
you know, I feel because like the trauma of like the situations and stuff that we come from, even our parents and stuff, like we're very much insular. Whereas living around the world and being forced in situations where I have to interact with people who are not like me and stuff like that, I feel like really opened up my mind and stuff. So it really made me see, anything's possible. Like I went to school with kids who are like one guy's house who I used to go to, who I went to one time. First time I went to his house, right? This in Cape Town. I get to his house, gate opens, walk in, and then he's walking me to his house, and then it's like this nice, like pretty well-to-do house. And then I'm nice house, and it's like, that's not my house. That's like housekeeping's house where they stay. And housekeeping where they said was bigger than the house I was living in. I was
it's like, huh?
I was like, what?
So let me see your house.
Yo, then it's no, my house is here. Then when I looked, I was like,
wow.
I was like, what?
That's
like
crazy. And for them, it's just like,
it's just normal for them.
It's
and
like,
I'm
why
thinking,
are you reacting? Like,
I'm thinking, I grew up in Blue Borough, like Southeast London. And Southeast London back in the 2000s, it's not like Southeast London now, where you go Peckham and you're seeing Marjorie from Oxfordshire, you know.
It wasn't as gentrified.
Peckham back then, you know, South London back then was just mad. So I came from a completely different world, but because I was now living in a different world, it made me see that things are possible. So I've always had that mindset, like anything's possible.
Amazing. And as you should, because anything is possible. And I guess like all the things you're doing, and just even you saying your story and like how you got to where you are today, and all the people you've run into when you meet and you've connected with, built relationships with, like it goes to show that anything is possible.
100%.
And like we should just kind of eradicate this limiting belief that we sometimes have within ourselves, that we're not capable or it can't happen for us, because it definitely can. So I love that, and thank you so much for like walking us through it all. And like you were dropping gems, and I've just been listening. Like, tell me more. Like, I need to know more. Like,
no
just
problem.
spitting game. So, honestly, appreciate it so much. And we end every episode with diary prompts.
Okay.
So the first diary prompt, I'm gonna read it out, and then I want you to. I'm gonna read it out. Let me get my pen out. I want to read it out, and then I want you to repeat after me, and then
cool.
Yeah, finish it off. Okay. So the first diary prompt is: I wouldn't be the person I am today without.
I won't be the person I am today without Jesus.
Amen.
Like, my faith. Like, you know, that may sound cliche, but honestly, the things which I've been through in life, like mad stuff, like with my family, things, if I were to tell it now, a lot of people are like, he's making it up.
Wow.
You know, the stuff, even on my career path now, the industry I'm in, you know, I'm facing all kinds of hurdles all the time as I'm on this journey. You know, like I got let go from my last job 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And actually 3 years ago now, time's gone. And like a lot of people, they would just break down, you know, especially in this country where things are so expensive. You have to pay rent.
And it's just difficult.
It's difficult.
Trying to survive out here in London. London, as we were saying before, they're going to have you work.
Yeah.
They're like, you want to survive and thrive, or you're going to work.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
London's a difficult place to really, kind of similar to New York, with the kind of hustle culture and just the...
Yeah,
it's difficult.
It's mad, you know. But because of my faith in God, when I say God, Jesus Christ specifically, you know, like, I don't look at things from a natural lens. I try not to. Yeah. Like, I'm human, so I do, but I always pray and I'm like, God, show me what it is. Like, because sometimes something can look bad, but God is like, no, I'm actually using this as an opportunity to shape you and prepare you for the position which I want to place you in.
Right.
And stuff like that. You know, it's like when Joseph got sold into slavery and then that led to him becoming Prime Minister of Egypt. You know, so Yeah, 100% my faith.
Yeah,
My faith is
100%.
what got me here. It's what keeps me grounded, keeps me sane, and it's what's going to get me to where I'm meant to get to. So
No, for sure. And I feel like I completely agree and I completely like resonate. And there's times when it just feels like everything's working against you. But then when you get so in your head like that, it's because you need to sort of relinquish control and just know that like you it will be sorted for you, and you shouldn't like have to worry, and you shouldn't, you know, feel as though like you're not going to make it out of your current situation, because like God will work it out for you. Jesus.
100%.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like you're, for
God
sure.
is in control, and I know, you know, there's going to be people watching this who aren't religious and stuff, and that's fine. But I'm talking for me,
right? For sure. And like this is your experience. This is
my
and
experience,
I relate as well. Like,
you know?
Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like it's so comforting to know when it's like you're not in it alone, as in like there's someone that's forever in your corner, forever looking out for you, and like that gives you that sort of safe feeling that nothing else can give and nothing else can provide. You know, so I can completely resonate.
And that's how I navigate, and you know, for others that's not the case and stuff.
Yeah,
and
and each to their
own. But for me, that's how I navigate, and I couldn't see how I could navigate any differently. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And no, completely. And it goes into my sort of next, I guess, prompt, which is I feel the safest when.
Ooh, I feel the safest. I feel the safest when I'm like just at home and I'm with my friends and family. Not even at home, to be honest. I can be in public, but as long as I'm with my friends and family, you know, like even even when I directed Driving Mercedes, like you know, I told my producer, like, I don't want anyone on set who doesn't need to be there. Only people who actually have a role on set, because especially it was my first time directing and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to be hypersensitive to who's around me, because I know... You don't want the extra nerves or the extra you know, because I'm already doing something which is already quite nerve-wracking, so I need people there who I feel safe around being with and stuff. So for me, I'm at my safe space so long as I'm with my family, I'm with, you know, with my family or my friends who I consider like family, and as long as I feel like, okay, I'm in God's presence, like, you know, wherever I am, you know, if I feel like I'm telling, I'm like, I'm not meant to be here. You feel it, and you're like, there's something off about this place or this person's energy. As long as I'm surrounded by, I feel like, okay, I'm in God's presence, and that doesn't mean church, it can be anywhere, and I'm with people who I trust, and I can be myself around, then
Of course. Oh, I love that. And the final prompt is I want to be remembered by, or I want to be remembered for.
Ooh, I want to be remembered by... Who do I want to be remembered by? I think my answer, I want to be remembered for, because remembered by, I feel like that can be such a tricky question, but I want to be remembered for, so my work, like my filmmaking and stuff, and, you know, obviously on a commercial level, critical level, and accolades. But beyond that, how I impacted others, how I used my position, my success to benefit others and help others, whether it's through the film work or financially or education-wise or on a spiritual level. Yeah, that's what I want to be remembered for.
Because at the end of the day, it's like you put your art out there, and then it's bigger than you, because it's like the effect and the impact it can have, like, can long past you. So it's like you want it to be a positive thing. So yeah, no, that's amazing. And if you were to write a diary entry based on our conversation today to any version of you, so the version of you when you were in South Africa, or the version of you when you were younger, or the version of you like going into directing and taking that step to do that, what version of you would you write your diary entry to, and what would you say to him?
I guess I'd say when I was like a teen, even in South Africa, I'd say what I was going through in life in terms of like the little things as a teenager and whatever, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Like most of this stuff does not matter. Like what matters is, you know, your faith, your loved ones, and just only caring about being accepted by those who accept you for who you are. Anyone else, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter, because most of these people you're going to school with or whatever, you're not going to be talking to them in like 3 to 5 years. They're not relevant. They're not relevant, you know.
In the moment, it feels so monumental. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the whole world.
Exactly.
But it's like, as you evolve and you go through life, you realise what you thought to be your world is actually so small, and your world is so much bigger than you can grasp.
It had zero impact on now, and like even I'll say it like there's one girl who I went to school with in South Africa, and like, you know, at first I thought me and her were cool and whatever, and then she acted quite stush and whatnot, and then I remember once we used to have each other on Facebook, and I remember one day, it's really petty, but I don't care. One day,
It's really petty, but
I don't care. Well, everyone who knows me, my friends, like, I'm the petty king. She must have like
petty king is hilarious.
We had each other on Facebook, and we used to like I had the same birthday month, and I messaged her happy birthday. We'd always message her happy birthday. Then one time, I know she removed me on Facebook as I was wishing happy birthday, and I was like, huh? Oh. But I was like, oh, happy birthday today. I was like, I noticed you removed me. Just wondering why. Just read the message. She never responded. No problem. No problem. I was like, okay, cool. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was like 2 years ago, she must have just randomly tried to follow me on Instagram. Nice. And I saw, I just aired her. Right?
You were like, I remember you removing me from Facebook.
I was like, nah, I don't forget.
Happy birthday message.
So then she was even like commenting on my stories. And then there was even, I think, one of my friends who I went to school with, another friend I went to school with in SA, we were posting something about when we first discovered Drake. Because Drake is like my favorite artists. And then we were talking about it, and then she commented, she's like, oh, I remember, da-da-da-da. I just aired her. I just kept like messaging, commenting.
I'm getting like secondhand embarrassment.
Aired. And then
cringe out and stuff like that.
She finally took the hint and then unfollowed me, cancelled the request, and then deleted all her messages. And I'm just like, bro, like, you chose the side you want to be on.
See,
you know what I mean?
Would
like,
you ever thought to be like, this is why I'm airing you?
Huh?
Would you have ever would you ever like go back and like message her and be like,
never. If she were to ask me, like, say I bumped into her in person, cool.
You would, yeah.
You know, but
you're like noted.
Yeah.
Moving forward and just
but
bad energy, stay far away.
Exactly. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because why it's relevant is because that's someone who in school at the time I'd think, oh, it's a big deal if me and this person are cool or whatever. Right. Whereas years later, I'm like, bro, who are you? Like, who actually are you? Now you're coming to me begging, move, man, move, like move.
Yeah,
you know,
but
so
it just shows like your current circumstance isn't going to dictate like your future. Like,
exactly.
You just never know how things work out, and that's why. Again, emphasis to just be kind to people and be like,
listen,
your true self, and just be
because you just don't know.
Because you just don't know.
Listen,
and it's good to be a good person.
Yeah, just be nice to people. Not even because I could gain something, whatever. But just be nice.
Just be nice. Like, it just makes the world a better place. Not to be cliche.
Exactly.
But yeah, it really does. So no, amazing. But yeah, thanks so much. Tell the people where they can find you. Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram Nifty Noel. And yeah, just. Any filmmakers out there, if you want to collaborate, like feel free to message me, follow me and stuff. I can't respond to everyone, and obviously message me properly because some people have no decorum and stuff. And if you don't message me properly, I'll just air you. But yeah, Nifty Noel, that's what I'm going to be known as professionally. My work. Look out for Driving Mercedes, which is dropping next month. I think we're going to put it straight on YouTube or Vimeo, but either way, follow me on Instagram. Keep up to date with that. And yeah, my work will be in your TV screens and cinema screens within the next 2 to 3 years. Straight up. Yes, we're looking out for it.
Yeah.
Remember that clip because oh, we love to see it. Well, I can't wait to see all the amazing things you produce, you create, you direct. I'm looking forward to laughing away, watching all your comedy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like the future looks so bright for you.
Thank you. Amen.
I
Amen.
can't wait to see everything that you do, and yeah, I'm excited for you. So,
big up Duvet Diaries.
Hey. Well, thanks so much for watching if you've been watching, and thanks so much for listening if you've been listening, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.